Question 24. Sociologist. Romantics who claim that people are not born evil, but may be made evil by the imperfect institutions that they form, cannot be right, for they misunderstand the causal relationship between people and their institutions. After all, institutions are merely collections of people. All right, so argument or facts. Clearly, we have an argument. The sociologist's claim is the first sentence, or the first part of the first sentence, that romantics who claim that people are not born evil but may be made evil by the imperfect institutions that they form cannot be right. And why? Well, because they misunderstand the causal relationship between people and their institutions. After all, institutions are merely collections of people. So you notice there's an implied cause and effect relationship here. By saying they misunderstand the causal relationship between people and their institutions, after all, institutions are merely collections of people. And again, the romantics are claiming that the institutions are causing people to be evil. The sociologist is saying they're mistaken, they misunderstand the causal relationship. So there is an assumed cause and effect relationship. So the sociologist is clearly saying that the cause of these imperfect institutions are people being evil, right? So it's the people causing imperfect institutions, whereas the romantics think it's the other way around. All right, so now that we have this argument clear in our minds, let's go to the question stem. Which one of the following principles, if valid, would most help to justify the sociologist argument? Most help to justify. We know that is a strengthened question, but also notice principle. So this is actually a principle question as well. So all of our answer choices here are going to be principles, and looking for the principle that most strengthens this argument by the sociologist, again, that people are the cause of this imperfect institution, right? The idea that these romantics are wrong who claim otherwise. So A, people acting together in institutions can do more good or evil than people acting individually. And if you notice, A definitely does not strengthen. If anything, it might tend to weaken it by going with the romantics' opinion, saying that it's the institutions, because together, collectively in institutions, they can do more evil. So maybe it is the case that the institutions are the cause of people's evilness, but definitely does not strengthen the argument, so A is out. B, institutions formed by people are inevitably imperfect. So basically, B is a sufficient and necessary statement. If you are an institution formed by people, so institution formed by people, you are inevitably imperfect. So you are always going to be not perfect. The problem here is that we don't care if institutions formed by people are sufficient for being inevitably perfect. We're looking for people being the cause of this imperfection. And B does not address that. Great, if you're an institution formed by people, you're inevitably perfect, but is that because people cause the imperfection or vice versa? So B does not strengthen and B would be eliminated. C, people should not be overly optimistic in their view of individual human beings. And again, that clearly does not strengthen here, because it doesn't address what's going on in the argument. Great, don't be too optimistic about individual human beings, but that doesn't tell us whether or not people are causing these imperfect institutions or that imperfect institutions are causing people to be evil. So C is irrelevant. Moving to D, a society's institutions are the surest gauge of that society's values. Okay, great, but that still doesn't tell us which one is causing which. Is it the people causing the institutions or the institutions causing the evil people? Which brings us process of elimination to E. The whole does not determine the properties of the things that compose it. So you notice what E does is it eliminates the possibilities that the institutions are the cause of people's evilness. So strengthening the idea that it's the people that are causing the imperfect institutions. So E would be the correct answer. Again, directly strengthens this argument by ruling out the possibility that the institutions are determining or causing the people to be evil.